An unprecedented digital revolution that empowered 1.36 billion Indian residents by giving them a unique identity. Without any discrimination based on caste, creed, or economic status. Aadhaar is the world's largest digital identity platform with online anytime, anywhere authentication capability. Uniqueness of digital identity is established using biometrics-based, state-of-the-art deduplication technology. During the pre-Aadhaar days, there was no nationally accepted, verified identity document or number that the residents and the service providers could use with trust and ease across the length and breadth of India. Initial discussion on unique identification for economically disadvantaged families started in 2006. An empowered group of ministers or EGOM was set up in December 2006 to collate the National Population Register under the Citizenship Act 1955 and the Unique Identification Number. With time and deliberations, the initial plan observed some reiteration and improvisation. Against this backdrop, in 2009, a massive technologically complex identity program, then called Unique Identification or UID program, unheard of in the history of humankind, was launched on 28 January 2009, which subsequently became a statutory authority in July 2016. After the promulgation of the Aadhaar Act 2016. It envisaged giving unique identity to every resident of India based on minimal demographic data such as name, address, gender, date of birth, and biometrics, which included 10 fingerprints and iris along with photo, besides voluntary use of mobile and email for communications purpose only. The very first Aadhaar was generated and issued on 29 September 2010 to a woman resident of the tribal village of Temphil in Nandurbar, Maharashtra. In a way, the first Aadhaar set the tone of inclusion and accentuated its aim of taking the government benefits to the last mile. Aadhaar is a non-repudiable ID forever, since it is based on deduplication of biometrics. The duplicates, ghosts and fakes, which earlier used to creep in most of the government programs and welfare schemes, are almost impossible to re-enter the system once weeded out. To enroll over 1 billion residents across the country was a massive task. UIDAI partnered with state governments, banks, and make them work as registrar to do enrollment of residents. UIDAI empaneled enrollment agencies to facilitate these registrar to engage them. Registrars were paid on successful generation of Aadhaar post-enrollment. This incentive-cum-output-driven model proved highly successful in ramping up enrollment work. In year 2015, daily enrollment reached 1.5 million per day. UIDAI also developed highly secure enrollment client, which was capable of capturing required demographic and biometric details and storing them securely in 2048-bit encrypted format. The UIDAI has set up a scalable ecosystem for the purpose of instant authentication of residents and eKYC. The Aadhaar authentication ecosystem is capable of handling tens of millions of authentications on a daily basis and can be scaled up further as per demand. UIDAI rolled out and executed the largest, most sophisticated, and the only one of its kind in the world digital identity program successfully, allaying the fears of skeptics. The UIDAI has appointed a number of authentication service agencies or ASS, authentication user agencies or AUAs, and KYC user agencies or KUAs from various government and non-government organizations, showcasing a perfect example of the PPP model At present, over 1.36 billion Aadhaars have been issued. Overall, Aadhaar saturation has reached 95%. Saturation among adults is now near universal. 92.55 billion authentication transactions have been executed so far. On average, 70 million plus authentication transactions are taking place every day. 14.39 billion eKYC transactions carried out. 1670 central and state social welfare or DBT and good governance schemes have been notified for use of Aadhaar. Face authentication introduced in October 2021, 10% higher success rate, monthly average of 8 million transactions. Aadhaar and DBT have jointly helped save more than 2.5 trillion rupees to the government exchequer by curbing leakage, removing duplicate beneficiaries and improving efficiency. These are astounding numbers, perhaps unimaginable at the conception of Aadhaar. Having achieved all that, Aadhaar is reimagining itself to continue to stay ahead of the times. It's time for Aadhaar 2.0. A roadmap has been drawn covering 5 key pillars. Continued focus on resident centricity, enhancing the usage of Aadhaar, further strengthening people's trust on Aadhaar and adoption of new technologies, and increasing international outreach. A major year-long campaign in mission mode has been started from August 10, 2022 onwards to update Aadhaar with deficient documents. Biometric service providers or BSPs presently operational are using facial image as additional biometric attribute for deduplication along with 10 fingerprints and 2 iris. In order to enhance its operations and services, UIDAI conceived a new state-of-the-art architecture based on private cloud infrastructure hosted from its own data centers. In year 2020, UIDAI has onboarded 3 service providers, biometric service providers, 3 BSPs, NEC, TCS and IDEMIA, Managed Services Application Provider or MSAP, Messrs TCS, and Managed Services Infrastructure Provider or MSIP, Messrs HPEIPL, to harness their domain expertise in designing and implementing state-of-the-art IT infrastructure. Private cloud is being built using open source stacks. The end objective is to have fully automated and light-out DC operations, providing infra as a service, IaaS, and platform as a service, PaaS cloud services. Information security is designed to secure the IT infrastructure, data and sensitive information at UIDAI data centers and covers all the layers of the security controls wherever the information gets stored and transmitted in UIDAI network. A sandbox environment has been created for new entrants to access, develop, integrate and to imagine new business use case scenarios and flows. The sandbox environment has been envisioned as a dedicated network space for integration testing of UIDAI APIs by ecosystem partners. It will enable the developer community to easily integrate and test Aadhaar authentication services into business application flows. In its endeavor to secure Aadhaar data hosted in UIDAI's Central Identities Data Repository or CIDR, Aadhaar Hackathon 2021 was conducted with 2 themes, that is, Address Update and Authentication Reimagined between 28th to 31st October 2021 for a period of 95 hours. 175 submissions were received, covering all the problem statements, out of which 4 teams for each of the themes were given awards. UIDAI also participated in the Smart India Hackathon organized by Ministry of Education or MOE's Innovation Cell and the All India Council of Technical Education or AICTE in August 2022. 10 problem statements were submitted, out of which MOE's Innovation Cell has shared the winning team solution, prototype, idea, presentation, software codes for each of the problem statements. 5 solutions were found to be beneficial for further consideration. eKYC Plus and eKYC features are under development. UIDAI has entered into a MOU with SETS Chennai for quantum-safe cryptography. MOU with IIT Bombay on touchless capturing of finger and iris biometrics using mobile phone camera signed. MOU with IISc Bengaluru for research on use of voice as a biometric. Aadhaar based offline eKYC sharing platform under development.